Hey everybody, Matt Johnston here with another legal update. So today we've been seeing a great deal of unrest in the country, and it's been a lot of protests, a lot of vocal opposition to various social conditions, and that's all well and good. But I got a question today from a client who was asking whether or not they can fire employees for something that the employee says on social media. Which I thought was kind of fortuitous since I had just read a blog post by another employment law attorney who had compiled some 10 plus cases of employees being fired, including lawyers, including prosecutors, for statements that they made on social media on their own personal social media pages. So clearly the answer is yes, you can fire somebody for the speech that they make on social media, particularly if it contains racial slurs, calls for violence, calls for, um, you know, destruction of property or something along those lines. So those activities are, while somebody may have a First Amendment right to engage in that activity, it doesn't mean that they are free from the consequences of that activity. So the question gets into, how do I fire an employee? Well, the how is actually pretty easy, but you want to make sure you document these things very, very carefully. So if there is a post out there that is of, contains racial slurs, contains calls for violence, contains, calls for destruction of property or something along those lines, make sure you have a copy of said post and make sure that this person is aware that you have that post and you can terminate their services. You want to document things as much as possible to make sure that the reason you are terminating somebody is for their behavior that calls into question the the standing or the stature or the public image of an employee, or rather of an employer. This is not to say that an employer terminating an employee for speech made outside the office is also free from consequence, but in most states there is what is referred to as at-will employment, so an employer may terminate the services of an employee at any time with or without cause. Likewise, an employee can leave the employee of a company with or without cause at any time. That's what that's what at-will employment means. Most of us are aware of that. What is tricky is that people will say that you have terminated me without adequate proof. You have terminated me for reasons that are protected by the First Amendment and things of that nature. And I can't say that employers won't get sued as a result of terminating an employee. I just want to point out that it is permissible for an employer to terminate an employee's employment with that company with or without cause, and specifically for actions which would bring the business into disrepute. So if this person is associated with a business and they make racial slurs, that's a problem and you can terminate their services. So be mindful, document, 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 and if possible, I strongly encourage you to seek out legal counsel before you terminate somebody. Okay? So just be mindful of, you need to have it cleared or have it reviewed before you take the negative adverse action. In the meantime, please stay safe out there, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.